question that they'd like to start off with. Again, if you can repeat the question from the audiences to this, that would help those online hear the question.
Or just answer in such a way that the audience can tell. I try to type in the gist of the questions too, but sometimes people are speaking and anyway, it doesn't always work so well. So this question says the ARTES program recommended trying some chemical treatment and control areas as the oil came ashore during Deepwater Horizon. How can we get permission to do this type of work in a future spill? And this came in during the first presentation. Yes.
Sure. So the question was about it sounded like some sort of chemical treatments that were looked at under the ARTS program, which is Alternative Response Technologies. And I assume this was during Deepwater. And the question is, how do they get approval to do that? So just, I guess, real briefly, without going into too much detail, typically something like that, like a chemical treatment, one would have to be on the NCP list to be able to be considered. So it has to be kind of pre-approved as a response chemical treatment. And then you'd also have to seek approval from the RRT before that could be applied in the field. And we actually tested 2 different shoreline cleaners in the treatment testing process I described, 2 that were on the NCP list. And just even for the testing process, we had to seek RRT approval for that ahead of time. We used those 2 that we tried them. They had some utility, but at an operational scale, it just wasn't really feasible. They didn't work in a way that could be logistically scaled up. Thanks.
Any other questions from the audience?
I just follow on that when you address chemical, were there bioremediation agents that you, either biostimulation or bioaugmentation products you tried in this testing as well?
We did not in our case. Actually, though, at the same time that we were seeking approval for our treatment testing process from the RRT, and I should say RRT is the regional response team, there was a BP team who was actually seeking to do some similar testing with some bioremediation agents in a nearby area. We tried to collaborate with them some. But ultimately, I don't remember exactly what happened. They did, I think, eventually get RRT approval for their tests. But at some point, they were either not funded or were not carried forward. So unfortunately, we don't have that information. It would have been interesting to see, what that outcome would have been.
Paul, did you have a question?
Yeah, this is to Isabel. I'm afraid that during the break, you spoke a little bit about some of the things you found remnant from Istok. Could you just repeat that? And perhaps I didn't catch all of what you said.
So the question is about Istok oil spill that happened in the southern Gulf of Mexico, in 1979 to 1980. So I just gave a presentation about the DPIC consortium, but also I'm part of the Sea-Image consortium. And we were able to go in 2015 and 16 to Mexico to look at oil residues from the Istok oil spill. And by understanding what happened with this oil that was spilled in the environment 36 years before, we can actually now think about what could happen with the Deepwater Horizon oil in the environment from now to 30 years after. So we went there and we sampled offshore and the coastal areas. So the part that I was talking about was mangrove ecosystems in the Gulf of Mexico. We went there to see if we could see any residue and trying to look at the fate of oil in these coastal environments over that time. And we were surprised to find that there was still a significant amount of oil buried under the forest. So this is forests that you walk in, they're well developed, they look healthy, but we found this was about 1 centimeter thick layer of fresh, smelly oil in the sediments. Also, we collect the sediments beneath the layer, above the layer, on the trees and many places, and everything. So you smell it only at that oil that is buried in the sediments, but And the rest of the sediment you collected, you don't smell it, but when you do the chemical analysis, there's some water in there.
There was an answer online that said during the Deepwater spill, the BP team did lab studies, but never received permission to deploy bioremediation agents in the field.
Any other questions?
No.
Go ahead.
One for Daniel. With Deepwater Horizon, where you mentioned the NRDA starts after the spill is over. But were you integrated at all into the command center or the command's ICS?
Yeah, so the question was, it was said that I had said that the NRDA starts when the response is over. And if that was the message I gave, that was not the message I intended to give. The message I intended to give was the responders are there immediately. The injury assessment people, the natural resource trustees are there very shortly thereafter. And there's a lot of response and NRDA overlap during those early phases. We have a lot of shared data and a lot of shared information, and we can share resources as well. So yeah, I unfortunately still can recall being in Homa for many weeks and all of the pieces associated with being at incident command. So it isn't a after the fact, it's that once the response is over, we continue to do work and we continue along that injury assessment quantification path until we reach restoration, and then we implement restoration and continue to work on restoration. Sometimes, again, out decades, like Deepwater Horizon, it's going to be a couple of decades before all of the restoration's in